Simone, a breaking news update. Grammy-winning songwriter Brett James died in a plane crash in Franklin, North Carolina. It happened around 3 yesterday afternoon. The FAA says the single-engine plane went down in a field near an elementary school. Authorities say all 3 people on board were killed. There's no word from investigators on what caused the plane to crash. The Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame announced James was among those who died in the crash. He was 57 years old. James was best known for writing Carrie Underwood's hit Jesus Take the Wheel. It won a Grammy for Best Country Song in 2007.
Developing out of Pickens County, deputies have arrested 3 people accused of embezzling money. These arrests are coming after reports from the school district in Pickens County that show that money came up missing from one of their school booster club funds. Ariana Meadows has details.
The Pickens County Sheriff's Office says 3 people have been accused of embezzling from Liberty High School's booster club. We spoke to the school district of Pickens County, who says booster clubs are independent, parent-run organizations that support schools and students. Booster club funds uniforms, travel for games and competitions, and more. We're told the school district requires an annual review from every booster organization, including financial reports. During this review, the Pickens County Sheriff's Office says the school district reported money missing. One of the suspects is the now former treasurer of the Red Devil Athletic Booster Club, Brandy Carr. Deputies say a significant amount of money was embezzled and used for personal gain during Carr's time as treasurer. Deputies also identified and charged 2 co-defendants, Scotty Carr and Sean Carr, as conspirators in the breach of trust investigation. The school district sent us a statement which reads, "The situation involves the actions of the former treasurer and does not reflect the many parents and volunteers who faithfully support Liberty High School students." Dr. Darren Bird with the school district says Liberty High School has the treasurer position filled to ensure all booster club duties resume. This is an ongoing investigation with the Pickens County Sheriff's Office. In Liberty, Ariana Meadows, 7 News.
The U.S. Marshals Service is now offering a $3,000 reward for the information leading to the arrest of a murder suspect. Police say 36-year-old Aiken Wallace is wanted for first-degree murder in the death of Denzel McKnight, who was shot and killed July the 24th at Hillcrest Apartments. Officers tell us Wallace should be considered armed and dangerous. They say he's 5'9" and has tattoos including a lion and a crown on his left arm and Chucky with a gun on his right arm. If you have any information, you're asked to call the U.S. Marshals Service at 1-887-WANTED-2.
Gears here, breaking news this morning. Union Public Safety says they've arrested and charged a man in connection to 2 homicides from earlier this week. Our 7 News' Simone Jameson. She joins us live from Union with the details this morning. Simone.
Olivia, Union Public Safety says they arrested Zayden McHill after an hours-long standoff they say happened at a home on Church Street around 8:30 last night. Hill is accused of shooting and killing a man and a woman within 24 hours of each other earlier this week here in Union. Investigators say 67-year-old Charles Crosby was shot and killed in the 400 block of South Mountain Street around 8 a.m. Tuesday. They say his body was lying in the yard just outside his home. Investigators also say a woman who they identified as 49-year-old Kiran Patel was shot to death in the parking lot of the Didi's Food Mart in Union around 10:30 Tuesday night. Officials say Crosby and Patel were shot and killed less than half a mile apart. Union Public Safety and SLED say they arrested Hill using less than lethal force yesterday. They also say he acted alone in the killings.
SLED SWAT team approached the house, and they spent several hours trying to negotiate with the young man to get him to come out. They did use some less lethal tactics, and they were eventually able to get him out unharmed without further incident.
And we're told the Union County Fire Department also helped out with clearing and decontaminating the home where Hill was arrested. Hill is now being held at the Union County Jail. We'll continue to track the details of this story and bring you the very latest. Live from the Union Public Safety Department, Simone Jameson, 7 News.
State leaders in South Carolina are warning that there is a massive fentanyl crisis sweeping across the region. 7 News State House reporter Caroline Yaffa was at the news conference to give you an in-depth look at the threat and the effort to fight it.
The Drug Enforcement Administration says with South Carolina's growth, the state is a target for drug trafficking, powered by cartels, violent dealers, and prison-based networks. The DEA identifies the Sinaloa cartel as a key player, moving large quantities of fentanyl, meth, cocaine, and counterfeit pills, often through Atlanta. The cartel uses pill presses to make deadly fentanyl look like legitimate medication.
All it takes is one pill, all it takes is one death for it to forever affect your life and your family's life.
They also say drug seizures are rising. Just this year alone, officials seized over 140 kilos of fentanyl, 232 kilos of cocaine, and more than $4.4 million in cash and assets.
Although overdose rates are down across the country, and specifically here in South Carolina, fentanyl seizures in South Carolina are still up 6.5%, or 6.5 times. We want to remind the public to remain vigilant to the dangers and the prevalence of fentanyl.
Across several states, authorities have reported 25,000 fraudulent electronic prescriptions and 54 pharmacy burglaries in the last 18 months.
We may not be able to prevent individuals from breaking into a pharmacy or other location, but by properly securing your medications, specifically highly desirable Schedule II controlled substances, you can certainly make it a lot more difficult for the thieves to gain access to those medications.
But Tooley says there's a new drug on the rise and it's more deadly than fentanyl. And because of that, they always need to adapt to changes.
The rest of the world and the rest of the United States can adapt to those changes. We can't do what we do without our state and local counterparts, so we then have to force multiply with our state and local agencies to let them know about the dangers, what the trends, what we are seeing.
That's why it's so vitally important for parents and loved ones to talk to young folks about taking that pill and risking their lives.
Sterling says 100% of major drug casings in the state have ties to prison-based operations, with inmates running networks from behind bars. In Columbia, Caroline Yaffa, 7 News.
The DEA and U.S. Attorney's Office say the best thing you can do is talk to your children, your family, your friends, and warn them to only take pills from licensed pharmacists or practitioners.
We start with breaking news out of Spartanburg as the NCAA refutes an earlier report that it ruled 6 Wofford basketball players ineligible. 7 News Sports Director Pete Yanity has been following this story and joins us now. Pete, a lot going on here in this situation.
Pretty much a head shaker more than a head scratcher, Kelsey. Earlier in the day, there was an extensive report by the Field of 68 website, which covers basketball very well on the college level, that indicated that the sanctions for players who lived off campus using the on-campus meal plan were being imposed, that they had violated NCAA rules, and that 6 Wofford players were being ruled ineligible with an appeals process that could follow. However, the sanctioning body released a statement tonight on X saying the report by Field of 68 is incorrect, that the NCAA did not suspend any players and no action was taken against any athletic personnel at Wofford. So this all connects back to last week's news on Friday that head coach Dwight Perry and his top assistant Ty Anderson would no longer lead the program. According to the report, which extensively quotes Mark Pepper, who represents 7 players on the team and 4 of the 6 who were initially cited in the Field of 68 story as being suspended, well, it all stems from a miscommunication over promises made about on-campus housing. The half-dozen players who transferred from other schools to Wofford during the off-season had the expectation of being placed in upperclassmen dorms of the school. They offer amenities like an in-suite bathroom. Instead, those players were assigned to an underclass student dorm. So, the story reports that Anderson provided the option to the players to live off campus and pay for their housing, which they chose. The Field of 68 report indicates the meal plan use had never been discussed with the players previously, but based on the NCAA statement, that apparently is not an issue to this story.